Hey everybody, welcome back to House Hacks. Today we're going to go ahead and finish up the PEX installation. Just as a quick review, this is where we have our prior plumbing hack that we came up with of being able to connect PVC to a PVC to CPVC adapter and then connecting that to a PEX adapter. This is all 3/4 inch. One thing I like to do is I like to dry fit everything as much as possible, putting in some zip ties, allowing the PEX to mold to the shape and the directions I need it to be. I like to put in all my elbows and sweeps ahead of time as well, because I have found myself in situations where after I already tried to install it, I found that because I had used up too much of my PEX in other locations that I had actually cut it short. So I've learned to dry fit everything ahead of time. So this is going to be our final location, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut with our PVC cutter. And this sometimes can be a little anxiety provoking because you really want to make sure that you don't cut it too short. So I oftentimes will cut multiple times because that way at least I can keep cutting shorter, but I can't add it once I've cut it. So this is a little too long, so I'm just going to go ahead and trim just a little bit more off of that. Still need a little more, so I'm going to go grab a knife. Actually, I'll work on that and then we'll return to that. We finished up the installation of the packs, and so we have a crimp on this end and a crimp on the other end, and then I went ahead and used pipe wrap to wrap the fittings, and I like using zip ties just to make sure that it's in there securely. As far as the PEX is concerned, I use some of the lawn stakes just to make sure that it stays where I want it to stay, so it allows enough room for the plants to have an opportunity to root into the existing soil. The black plastic is in place on both sides of the planter box channel on the back side of the cinder blocks, just to prevent any of that water leakage or mud or anything from getting onto either the adjacent driveway or the walkway. And we then went ahead and, since we'd kind of stepped on the soil and compressed it a little bit and compacted it, went along with a mattock or a little baby pickaxe. You could even use a brick hammer, and just sort of turned the soil to loosen it up a little bit so that the roots can get a nice hold and so that it can absorb water. And so we're going to bring in some planter box soil and kind of mix that in with the existing soil. And then we're going to bring in our boxwoods that we just picked up today, and then place the planter box soil until we can get the nice right height that we're seeking for the boxwoods, and then hook up our irrigation lines.